Welcome.
Welcome to
I'm,
Life.
I'm Lynn Serrano.
I'm Sheryl Isenhour and the puppies.
We'll be right back after this. Welcome, Sheryl. It's nice to have our little guest, our little co-host today, chiming in today. I know what they said. They said we are live.
No, they said UPS just pulled up in my driveway.
Oh,
It's the puppies.
that's right.
That's
They.
one of the virtues or problems with being live.
That's right. That's right. So you brought this topic to me yesterday. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what I'm going to say with this, but I'm going to just play along with you.
That's one thing it was, I think Eleanor Roosevelt said it first. I think that was one of her quotes, but it was something my grandmother used to tell me. You know, if we're always doing everything we're comfortable with all day long, you're not going to do anything differently. You're gonna reach out for all the good stuff. So she always told us, try every day to do something that scares you. I mean, it doesn't have to freak you completely out, but just something that scares you, something that you're not accustomed to, that you may be holding back. And the thing about it is, if it doesn't work, you tried, and maybe it won't. It's not a thing that scares you. I mean, I have people on interviews, and I know you've had them too, that are scared to death to talk to Zoom. The camera's different. And, it's kind of like I'll start out talking, I'll say, you look a little nervous, but today you're doing something that scares you. Believe me, you're not going to fall over. You're not going to go through the camera. Nothing's going to happen. You and I are just going to have a conversation. And next time you will have gotten over this fear. So things like that.
Your voice is so soothing and calming. I mean, you would definitely be like the best person to have the first Zoom meeting with, because you would put anyone at ease. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess the other phrase to say, instead of scare you, how about doing something out of your comfort zone that that
It's got
that
to scare you.
well, it's scary. Well, yeah, I mean,
It needs to be a little stronger than your comfort zone. Either one would work. Try
yeah.
try one of them. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, or yeah, for me, it's always that I have to dare myself. Something that scares me, I got to dare myself. Let's say, okay, go ahead and do that. Just like last week or the week before that, Brian didn't come. He didn't make it on our show, and I was like, okay, I have to do the show by myself, and I don't like to do shows by myself, so I had to do that, and I've been doing shows, but not by myself. So I, it scares me. It doesn't scare me. It just, it feels, uncomfortable. Doesn't, what's that?
it's a fear.
Yeah. So I went ahead and I talked for 7 minutes, and I was like, okay, here I am. And then I started another podcast, and I was like, it scares me to throw another one out there, but I was like, nope, it scares me to do it. I got to do it. So yeah, it just, and here I am studying for a life insurance test, and I had 2-week delay. It was almost out of my hands of not taking the test, and now I'm studying again, and I'm getting nervous about it. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do this. Blah blah blah. I got to get out of my comfort zone. It's a time test. I'm dyslexic. I can think of all these different things, but it scares me. I'm actually going to go get fingerprinted for this, and I got to get registered to state. I mean, it scares me of what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm following through and I'm doing it.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Is anything going to physically hurt you if you don't pass this test?
Well, that's the thing, because I'm used to just passing and doing everything perfect, and that the last time I took a test, any kind of life insurance or insurance test, I failed it. And I failed it because I didn't go through all the questions. I was trying to do all perfect. And as I was going through the test, I started doing great, except I didn't get through the test. You needed a 70, I got a 68. I didn't get through all the questions. So, it's just remembering, and stuff like that. So it like I said, I do know I need to do this because I got to forget what happened before. I got to get out of my comfort zone and do this. I got to go downtown. I mean, there's just a lot to it, and I just got to do it.
The main
Nothing.
thing is a fear of faith.
Yeah, fear of failure. Yeah, you gotta, and I know I can take it again if I fail.
And
So
again,
what's
and
that?
again, and
And
again.
that's right. So, I say, "Okay." And so again, so I know right now I'm giving myself excuses, and I've got 2 weeks from today. We're not gonna be on the show because it's when I should be almost done with the test and home by then, or we might I'll tell you what, maybe we'll just do the show after. I may be just a few minutes late, and we'll just tell you how I did as far as all my nerves and all that, whether I'll know if I passed it or not. So 2 weeks from today, I'll report all the feelings about it. How's that? Because it's going to scare the bejeebies. And so yesterday, after I knew I scheduled a test, all the nerves started coming in, and I know forget that's 2 weeks from now. Why am I letting the nerves of it scaring me be keep me from studying right now? Because I went to study and I was like, I don't remember any of this. After I passed the class, I passed the class. You had to pass the class in order to get to go take the test.
Mhm.
I passed the class, and yet all of a sudden I can't remember shit.
Sit down, get over that, and
Yep,
it's well, somebody's going to strike me dead before I go in there.
yep, yep.
I'll come back. I mean, if it didn't, Lynn, 99 out of 100% of people would have never graduated high school.
That's right. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm realizing all the excuses. I'm realizing all the BS with it, and I'm realizing that none of that is just keeping me from achieving what I know I need to do. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. I'm letting all those I'm listening to it, and I'm trying to let it just all go. Because if not, it's just bottle up and be worse. So yeah, so I'm trying to work on something that scares me, which is stupid. Like you said, it's not going to hurt me. It just but it's just previous stuff. So I've done good on tests before. I mean, I have, and I've passed, but to have that one test that I didn't pass was like
Yeah, and that's why one of the, I ask two questions in every interview. I don't care what they're interviewing for, and it can go anywhere from childhood to adult. Till a few minutes before they come on, and the question I ask, number one, is what have you? Tell me something you've succeeded and what made it go right. Okay, if you haven't had a success, you are really in trouble. But the next question is, tell me about a time you failed. What happened, but what did you learn from it? Now, if they can't give me a failure, that kind of niches me from putting them in a position, because if you've never failed, you've never tried.
Yeah. And the funny thing is I was going through a lot of other stuff back then, but I never did go back to try to take that test again. I was like, "Screw it. I'm not doing this." And I didn't. And that was a sad commentary there. But again, I just gotta face it and deal with it. But that's the best example I could give you as far as it is funny how you just let some roadblock let you defy. And I'm looking to right the wrong by going to deal with this because I can tell you a lot of things I don't like about it, but I'm looking to just get it done, just to have another, something to succeed. And then I realized, wow, all I need is a 75 to pass. Okay, I don't need 100.
Don't go for the bottom, Lynn. Tell
No, but that's the thing. I always go for the top. I always go for the top.
yourself you need 100. You
Absolutely.
can accept a 70.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
But that ain't what you said.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell myself, that it's going to be okay if I don't get 100 by saying, hey, 75 is okay passing. Because That's the thing.
You're putting too much thought into this.
Exactly. That's what I normally do. And I'm trying to say that those don't even matter.
Do you understand my title today?
What's that?
You didn't seem to understand what I meant by the title today. Now, do you have the answer?
Yeah.
But I mean, we all have those fears. There's days. I mean, I wouldn't suggest you jump off a mountain because you're scared of doing it, but I could suggest you climb one
Yeah.
on the short side if I'm going to do it. But, the thing about it is as long as it can't physically hurt you, what can it do to keep you from trying?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's, I would love to get everybody under the age of 20 and shape this into them because a lot of the younger kids, and it's a lot of the way, we've raised them, but they're so timid about doing anything.
Well, and you're right. And we're talking about little things like some people are afraid to talk to somebody and ask them a question. We're talking about it's the little minute things that are really big things that scare people, like asking somebody, "Hey, can you be on a podcast?" All they can say is no, or
I'll tell
"Hey."
you, the biggest fear of most people is raising your hand in a crowd and asking
Mm,
a question. They cannot do it. They'll sit there without the answer first.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I see when I'm teaching. And that's what a lot of our clients, we talk to some of their employees. And one of the best girls in the office I ever knew that worked for one of the people on our team, she had a mortal fear of raising her hand and asking a question. That's why she enjoyed training online because she didn't have to ask the question. She could just run it back and do it again.
yeah. And so it is those little things and what a big difference in your life if you could ask that question because you don't have the whole answer to what's, like you don't know how to do something and you're afraid to ask. And if you knew how to ask the question and get the answer, look at what you could get done and do.
You're two steps up. And, you know, it's most of the things I'm talking about are just minute little things that catch us every day. You
Right.
know, and it's it's that fear in people. You take a little one today and another little one tomorrow and another little one the next day, and that fear just that particular fear might not be there the next time, but you get more and more withdrawn. I guess is the word I'm looking for. And once that happens, you've got to break the cycle. And
Yeah.
everybody knows they have to. It's just they can't.
Well, and I think this brings a point that some people don't are they're even scared to even dream or think of the possibilities of what they can do.
Mhm.
So even if you could take a moment and think of, every day, think of one thing that you're afraid that you can't do, and think of the possibilities if you could do them. And then, like you said, climb a mountain. Right? You can't do that the first day, but when my knees were good, I mean, you got to have the good equipment. But if your knees are good and you want to do a marathon, start doing 2 or 3 blocks, run and walk, run and walk. I mean, next thing you know is you're running up the hill.
One thing, I'm a Ziegler person. So the one thing that Zig did is he got older in age. He decided he needed to run, get out and run. So he went and bought him some running pants and some running shoes and all the best stuff that you could run in, just everything he needed.
Mhm.
And he got out and he started down the driveway and he got just a little past his mailbox and he couldn't go any farther. So he went back to the house. But a lot of people would have stopped right there and decided that was, they couldn't do it. But the next day he went out, he ran a block. And then he started every day running a block and a mailbox and a block and another mailbox. And until he got where he was actually running a lot more than a gentleman his age was doing. And so, and they call it BAM, block in a mailbox.
Aw.
When you, something I could suggest to anybody is when you hit that little wall, just think of BAM. A box and a mailbox will get you where you're going. Just one more step. And then I was watching a TV show last night, a series last night before I went to bed, and this lady had lost her child. And he actually asked her, he said, "Can you live 5 more minutes without your child?" Because she'd tried suicide.
Hmm.
Answer was yes. He said, "Well, after you do that, come back to me." But she did. He asked her again, "Can you live 5 more minutes?" So she progresses on in the program, basically 5 minutes at a time until she can overcome her depression. I just thought it
Mhm.
was really neat. And those are huge things, or at least her.
Yes. Absolutely.
So people have to realize time will improve a lot of things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like our time's running out.
Yep.
And I saw that. I just want to tell everybody, don't stop where you are today. Just face those little mini fears and just imagine if you face 15 mini fears in 2 months, where will you be in 2 months?
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. So, Sheryl, as always, I love you. I appreciate your wise words. I appreciate that you know how to anchor me down. You let me vent. And then once I vent it out to you, it's like it's done. It's done. It's thrown away and I feel so much better. So, as always, thank you for being there and putting up with me. I love you.
Um,
Love you. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
bye bye.
You're like a circle